Ever look at a piece of jewelry and wonder, like, how do those gemstones even stay put?
It really is incredible when you think about it.
Right. Especially the intricate designs with all those tiny stones. It's like, are they glued on? Welded? Magic.
Well, today's deep dive is going to feel a bit like magic, actually. We're uncovering the surprisingly technical world of precious stone setting. And trust me, after going through these RoleCatcher files, I'm blown away by the skill involved.
You and me both. It's not just about pretty gems. It's a whole craft, right?
Yeah.
And thankfully, RoleCatcher, being the career-focused platform it is, provided this awesome career guide. It really takes you behind the scenes.
Like we get to peek inside a master jeweler's workshop.
Exactly. So first things first, what does a precious stone setter actually do all day? Because I'll be honest, my mental image was pretty basic. Tweezers, tiny stones, carefully place. The end.
Okay, the careful part is spot on, but it's so much more than just placing. Imagine you've got this piece of jewelry, maybe a ring, really ornate. Your job is to use these specialized tools to secure each gem into its setting.
Okay, so not just tweezers then.
Not unless you count laser welding as tweezers. No, we're talking precision cutting, shaping metal, knowing how each type reacts to different stones. The career guide really stresses that it's this blend of technical skill and the artistry that makes it unique.
See, this is already blowing my mind. I always assumed those stones just got to fit perfectly into pre-made slots, like a gemstone puzzle piece.
Nope. Each setting, whether it's prong, pave, bezel, they all have their own techniques, their own challenges. A pave setting with all those tiny stones packed together, that requires insane precision to create that seamless sparkle.
So you're not just placing gems, you're like creating the illusion of a sparkling surface. Talk about pressure. And this is all happening in some dusty workshop, right?
Not always. The career guide actually describes a lot of different work environments. Could be a busy jewelry store, a high-tech workshop, even freelance work.
So you could be right there with other artisans, or be like a lone wolf meticulously setting stones in your own studio. Kind of romantic when you put it that way.
Huh, I see that image caught your attention. And the guide even mentions that some stone setters travel to trade shows, showcasing their skills internationally.
Okay, see, now that's the dream. Travel perks and working with gorgeous gems all day. Sign me up. But with all the technology these days, has stone setting, like, changed?
It's a great question, and one the guide tackles head on. And you're right, technology is changing things. Computer-aided design, or CAD, is becoming more common in the jewelry industry. Imagine designing an intricate setting on a computer, almost like 3D sculpting, before ever picking up a tool.
So it's like the digital age is giving this ancient craft a super-powered upgrade.
Exactly. It's fascinating to see how tradition and innovation can work together.
Exactly.
It's really cool. And you know what else is cool? The fact that this blend of old and new brings its own pros and cons, right?
Hit the nail on the head. And speaking of pros and cons, the career guide lays it all out. The good, the bad, and everything in between. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the good stuff. Who wouldn't want to work with gorgeous gemstones all day, every day?
Right. Talk about a glamorous job. It's got to be so rewarding holding a finished piece knowing you're the one who brought it to life.
It really is. The guide talks about the artistic expression involved, and I think that's spot on. You're taking these raw materials and transforming them into something beautiful and valuable.
Okay, but beautiful and valuable doesn't always pay the bills. So what's the earning potential actually look like for a precious stone setter?
Well, this is where it gets interesting, because the luxury goods sector, they place a high value on these skilled artisans. So as you gain experience, as you build a reputation, those earnings can really skyrocket.
Sparkle in more ways than one.
Right.
But it can't all be sunshine and gemstones. What about the not-so-glamorous side? What did the guide say about the challenges?
It's definitely not easy street. It takes serious dedication, years of training. The guide actually breaks down the career path into 4 main stages: entry-level, junior, experienced, and senior, each with its own set of demands.
Like leveling up in a video game. Kind of cool. But let's rewind for a sec. What does that entry-level stage actually look like? Is it a lot of, like, gemstone sorting? Apprentice-type stuff?
Pretty much. It's all about learning the basics, proving yourself, assisting senior setters, preparing the settings, organizing all those tiny stones. It's about developing an eye for detail.
Yeah, you don't want to be the one mixing up the rubies and the garnets. But when you actually get to, like, set the stones, is that junior level?
Bingo. That's where you start getting your hands dirty, so to speak. You'll work on simpler settings, learn different techniques like prong settings, maybe even tackle some pave settings. It's all about precision. At this point, even a small mistake can have big consequences.
High stakes bling. It's interesting, though. The guide also mentioned collaboration at this level.
Definitely. You're not just off in a corner by yourself. As a junior stone setter, you start collaborating with designers, goldsmiths, understanding how the setting process fits into the overall piece.
You're all part of this creative orchestra, each playing your part.
Exactly. And as you gain experience, you move on to that experienced setter stage.
Okay, spill the tea. What does an experienced setter get to do? So what does that look like? Going from junior to experienced setter, what changes?
Well, the stones themselves, for one, you're probably working with bigger, more valuable gems.
Oh, okay, so the pressure's definitely still on then.
Definitely. The guide actually mentioned this master setter spent weeks setting this one heart-shaped ruby.
Weeks on one stone.
It's not just about speed. It's about, like, bringing out the brilliance of the stone, making sure it shines its absolute best.
So there's artistry at every level, even the technical stuff.
Exactly. And speaking of artistry, the client interaction changes too. At this level, you're not just like taking orders. You're a consultant, working with clients to design truly unique pieces.
That must be so cool, getting to be a part of someone's story like that.
It is. And then you have those at the very top. Senior precious stone setters. They're in a league of their own.
What makes them so special?
They're the ones trusted with the rarest, most valuable gems. Think museum quality pieces, antique restorations, even creating brand new setting techniques.
So they're like preserving history and shaping the future of the craft.
Exactly. And for anyone listening thinking, wow, I kind of want to do that, thankfully, RoleCatcher's got your back.
Wait, really? How so?
Their job board. Amazing. It's got everything from apprenticeships to positions at like the top jewelry houses.
No way. So you could literally go from learning the ropes to setting diamonds for royalty.
You could, but before you get there, you got to ace those interviews. And that's where their AI-powered tools come in. CV and resume tailoring. Game changer.
Okay, that does sound super helpful, especially in such a specialized field.
It is. Because you could have all the talent in the world, but if you can't communicate that, you're not going to get very far.
True. And I think that's a good note to wrap on. What do you think?
Absolutely. This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. It's amazing how much artistry, dedication goes into every single piece of jewelry we see.
It really makes you appreciate the craft.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe someone listening right now will be the next master setter thanks to a little help from RoleCatcher.